Hopefully, we have enough steady internet to go live because we're live. So I'm in Salt Lake City. I ran out of blankets to take to Unsheltered for our mission for this godless church, the Church of Korihor. We're about a year old, the church. I'm much older than that myself. Those people who don't know, you got the fit. Got this so that when I go out preaching at the preaching during protests, hopefully they don't shoot me. I don't know if you know, but they did that to a Catholic priest. He was just preaching the gospel. I preach this godless gospel. There's no God. Isn't that great? Good news. I'm just going to record myself while I'm out here. I haven't gone door to door doing anything since I was a Mormon missionary in Peru. That was 25 years ago. We're going to go get some blankets here if we can. There are a few pride flags out in this neighborhood up in northern Salt Lake. Somebody buzz about. What's the buzz about? Anyway. Figure. At least if there are pride flags out, Black Lives Matter flags, I'm at least among my people. Less likely to end up with some Mormon screaming at me. What do you mean, Church of Korihor? Get out of here. Heathen. Not that there aren't gay Mormons, they exist. They just don't generally put out pride flags and such. That's what else isn't condemned. Guys, I'm a sucker for old houses. In a second here, I might go around the corner and show you. This is North Salt Lake. Right ahead of me, in fact, up this road, you can see the church office building, the Mormon church. But around the corner here, some old Mormon pioneer buildings are just the coolest thing. That is occupied. All right, here we go. Oh, works. That means not occupied. Good. Try. I don't have one of these ring cameras. I should get one. Super handy. My folks have one down in St. George. I maybe have seen ring camera footage of Mormon missionaries. It's funny. Man, I can't. I hate to think of that. If they'd had those when I was a missionary in Peru over 20 years ago. The things people would have caught us talking about. Was such an immature brat. 20 years old, you know. I left from the mission 19. Look like anyone's home. Okay. I left on my mission 19 years old, 1999. That church, all we were about was converting people to Mormonism, getting them in the water. Really, hardly any effort, really. I mean, we said and believed that we were going to try and convert people and actually retain them. But this one doesn't have a fascinating place out. Just want to make sure I'm not knocking on the door of a business. Not that I couldn't go to a business. This is try knocking. Back in those days, we had to rehearse all of our. You guys hear me okay? Hello. Back in those days, I had to rehearse. We had to rehearse the introductions in Spanish Do you think that the name of the Mormon church is long in English, the official name? It's even longer in Spanish. Like, like apartment building. But first door I knocked on in Lima, Peru, I got a guy leaned out the window and shouted at me in English. And he's like, who are you? What do you want? I'm like, nosotros somos. He's like, we're not interested in joining the Mormon church. Oh, okay. I've got awkward knock on door. And like little condominiums. Northern Salt Lake is kind of like Brooklyn. It's like mostly young people and like people with money, and like but it's like hipster real estate. More of those rainbow. It's weird because it's like every house that you line up to could either be a house, or it could be condos, or it could be apartments, or it could be a business. Folks have a dog. Not that I have anything against dogs. I just know a lot of times people don't feel great about you knocking on their door when invited. These folks have a pride flag out. This is more like my people. Doorbell. No. I love dogs. Not much of a cat person. Horses tend to be dog people. Just kidding. Middle of the day is probably not a great time to find people. Probably should be doing this in the nighttime, but Sunday. Really, what I ought to do is get connected with like HOAs and stuff. That'd be smart. Well, not a lot of success yet. Well, I'm here. Might as well show you the thing I said I would show. Those people who wander in. I'm a sucker for old buildings. And I said that before many times, actually. I said about some of these are houses and some of these are businesses. Pretty sure on that side, this old building, is a house. But over here, it's this like cute antique shop. Just like, I love me some old buildings, man. And pioneer buildings in Mormon pioneer buildings are some of the coolest. But I mentioned before when I was talking to that fella, an unsheltered man down there in Salt Lake, down in downtown, which is way over there, that we're looking to buy old buildings, old church buildings that have run down, or that are run down. This would be a bad example of that. This one's actually in pretty good repair. This is one of these old buildings from back in the period when the church used to sell them. It looks like they have an acting company there. Is that the coolest thing? I love that. But this is a Mormon church back in the pioneer era, 19th ward. And it's curious, it's got like it's kind of like what do you call that, Turkish style? I mean, I'm a sucker for an old building, man. But right next to it is the Relief Society of the 19th ward. It's a whole separate building, which is if you know about the history of the Relief Society is the women's ministry of Mormonism. And after Joseph Smith passed, his successor, Brigham Young, basically tried to do away with it and think that the women needed ministry. And, Joseph Smith practiced polygamy, but Brigham Young, he pioneered the misogyny of it, a whole new standard of misogyny. So, yeah. Let's, not much success yet. Let's keep trying. No success in fact. Oh. I just love these old buildings and stuff. These houses. Pioneer era houses. I would hate one I would hate it if I actually owned one. At least that's what everybody says, because you have to replace all the wiring, replace all the plumbing, none of all the stud placement is different. You never know what kind of wall you have here or there. I don't know, I think I get a kick out of it. Yeah. But everybody keeps trying to convince me. Oh, but I've been saying that our plan has been to buy old churches that nobody goes to church anymore and build them into housing co-ops. A lot of people do that these days. Churches are doing that with their congregations. But then you have to be, Christian to participate in it, basically. I mean, I'm sure they probably will. Well, I don't know. I think actually mainly they're looking for people in their congregations. And I'm like, that sucks. Housing's for everybody. Let's go and buy up these churches and just use them just for housing. Vacant. It's not a lot of, there are a lot of cars, but I guess I'm only the people who live in the apartments. Mainly these houses are unoccupied so far. Oh, look at this cute house. See what I mean about old houses? Love them. Love them. That one's an accessible door. So, well, we'll get to the end of this road here. See if any opportunities look juicy. Maybe I should go up there. I said this is the ritzy area, right? This is a cute hipster area. Probably young people who don't answer the door. That up there. Yeah. That's a ritzy area. Knocking on the door up there. You're knocking on the door of an apostle or a business investor. Wonder how long I would knock doors up there before somebody says I'm calling the police. Just getting blankets for the unsheltered. But I also find pretty generous people up in neighborhoods like that. I don't know. I think anyway. Wonder if it's gated. Well, when I find out. Oh, cool, Hazel. I don't know if you're still here. I love that. Neurodivergence is one of the values of the Church of Korihor. One of my ambitions is to buy art made by neurodivergent people. In fact, we're starting into it right now, mainly on paintings by one of my favorite neurodivergent artists, me, and also my kids, and then selling them to help those neurodivergent people who are artists, as a lot of us are, to make enough money to live on, hopefully, but also to donate some original art that goes to auction that then becomes sponsorships for ABA therapy and other therapies. Not big on ABA therapy myself, but of course, a lot of ABA therapy centers are very have all, you know, the people get trained in all the newest updated modalities. Welcome to York. Hey. I think that's probably going to be the way to go. My works aren't listed really. Right now, I only have a handful of paintings. I've been trying to branch out in medium, but we are doing a silent auction on the 22nd, starting on the 22nd, well, ending on the 22nd actually, of February, at an event that we're holding in St. George. But we are going to put the paintings online where people can buy prints of them. I have a Pinterest, but I haven't posted any of my work on there yet. Just mostly liked other people's stuff. But yeah, you can donate work to the. Yeah, absolutely. Go to. Well, you want to just shoot me an email. Yeah, absolutely. It's my email is Joe, Joe Rawlins, Rawlins @gmail.com. I have a more formal church email address, but I've been having trouble getting it to work. Godless church. Mormon Jesus is against us. I wonder if I can get up there where that pride flag is. Find people up there. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we have 10, I think total 10 artists who have committed to donate work to this auction that we're doing. This auction that we're doing on the 22nd, that's not for the autism mission. That one is for our housing mission. But we are auctioning off original art and we are selling prints at the event that's going to be held next door to Thrive St. George, here and down there in St. George, Utah. But the money we're raising for that is going to an organization called Cherish Families, based out of Colorado City, where the you're welcome. Where the people, you know, of course, the Warren Jeffs cult is, and now since Warren Jeffs has gone to prison, all these women there who were the former polygamous wives of all these men, including Jeffs himself, well, they're just devastated, right? And a lot of them are and also the children of these polygamous families, who are now, a lot of them, adults. They're in and out of domestic violence situations, relationships, because that's what they have in their community around them, whether or not you're practicing polygamy. Down there, there's a lot of DV. And the domestic violence resource centers and systems are largely defunct now, that the federal government's cutting off their funding. And down in southern Utah, that's what there really was, apart from a handful of organizations that were mainly supported by LDS people and others in the community. Oh, back in the van. Anyways, don't judge me for the fact that I'm going to just keep this on while I drive up here. We're going to try it. We're going to drive up to the Richie Rich neighborhood, see if we can get to a position where we can go door to door. Yeah, people driving home or walking home from church. Maybe that's what I should do. I should camp out in front of a Mormon church. Say, how's it going, Church of Korahor? Could you give us a donation? Mormons will love that. But so this organization, they teach women financial education, how to manage your finances and stuff, and job training skills and things like that. And they help them get set up with a place to live if they're housing insecure, which is how it comes to be part of our mission. And they help them with things like even just basics, like we donated, when we were down there a couple weeks ago, we donated about a dozen, 1 or 2 dozen, something like that, hygiene kits. When you don't have money, you don't have money for like feminine hygiene products, which are expensive. And when you don't have money for feminine hygiene products, also, obviously, you don't have a lot you can do. You don't have a lot that you can do. So, sorry. Obviously. Like, what do you do if you don't have, Try to find a way up to this, up to the swanky neighborhood here. Yeah, see? Look at all these hippies here. Got to get in with these hippies. I'm Mormons too, but we'll take Mormons. We'll take their blankets. Oh, I made a bad turn, friends. Shit. Should stop and ask these hippies for directions. Oh, they're having an open house. I should buy a house out here. Just kidding. There's no way I could afford a house in America, much less here. Oh my God. Hipsters and beatniks. I'm telling you, if these people would just open their doors, I'm cool. I'm not an asshole. I promise. I should just open up my window and just shout at people. It's like, I'm not some Mormon asshole. I'm cool. Like you. Dude, got a Kwanzaa hut here. Hippies. How do you get in with these hippies? I may get out and knock some of these doors. Quite a few houses for sale up here. Interesting. Okay. This is starting to get swanky. Oh, this is private property. Should do like Louis C.K. says. I remember Louis C.K. had that bit where he was like, he moved into it. He said, when I started making a lot of money, when I started getting successful in comedy, I was able to move into a fairly nice swanky place that doesn't look like the kind of place where somebody that looks like me could rent. It's like one day I was like hanging out in this courtyard in this apartment building, and there was this guy had like brown shoes and stuff, and skinny jeans, and you could just tell he's the kind of person who lived here and did not think that I did. And he's like, so I like played it up, like tried to look extra gross, just because why not? Let's have some fun. And until the guy like walks up to him, he says, until the guy finally walks up to me and he's like, excuse me, do you live here? And Louis C.K. is like, no. And he's like, this is private property. And Louis C.K. is like, so I just said, oh, I don't really believe in that. He's like, because why not say the worst thing in that guy's world right there? It's like, oh, no. And then he's like, and then the guy stormed off and went to find a security guard. And I just sat there, and he says, I said to him, can I just stay for like 5 hours? Because like I'm having a really hard time right now. We're gonna try this direction, friends, see if we can get up there. Get up to the swanky neighborhood. I told my kids I'd take them to a movie later. Am I being tailed or am I just being? You just never know. Private security out here, you know. We get followed by a Land Rover. Would rich people have a Land Rover-based security team? I don't know. These are people who live here. Anyway, convenience store. That's a good idea. Like the dispensary, dude. Freaking house has a. This house has trans flags outside and abolish ICE on its hanging from the thing. Was this the street I was just on? No, surely not. I'm knocking on that door. These are my crew. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a whirl. Right over, you're gonna see here, right behind me. Maybe you see it, maybe not. The angle of this camera is a little bit wonky, but that's the Utah State Capitol building right there. You come up behind that at a certain time of night when they have the flame lit, and you can like hear it like all around the ridge here. It's like powerful. You can hear the flame burning. I might get yelled at by somebody here, but I hope not. This looks like it would be my house or like one of my partner's houses. And that's the invitation is, hey, if you're a godless church collecting blankets to go to the Unsheltered, stop in here. This is your place. I don't know. Either that or people who just want to be left alone, which I don't blame them. Now I got up here. Let's see way out there. Maybe around there. Maybe around back here. On the mission smile. Be cool. Everybody be cool. Doorbell. What's the doorbell? Let's come here. I think that's like peacocks or something. It delivers. Cool, like Dia de los Muertos decorations and stuff. Pretty rad. Oh, I tried. They have like coffee shops up here. I wish I had flyers on me. I bet you they have some of the coolest coffee shops here in Salt Lake, like Alchemy and places like that. Well, I'm sure I could get those. Those guys would let me put up a poster, just saying, "Hey, do you have blankets? Because we'll take them." So you guys can hear me all right. Oh, beautiful doggy. Not in your space, my man. You're beautiful, though. You are a beautiful boy. We're just cool people, man. And definitely corridors. There'd be people here who would get into corridor, in a big way. Probably already are. Familiar with the story? I gotta find it good. Let's see, what is this? Gerard Avenue. Well, I gave it my best shot. Didn't come away with any blankets from the neighbors yet. Learned some valuable lessons. People who are my tribe don't like to come to the door or aren't home in the middle of the day, like lunchtime on a Sunday. Oh, I'm sure they're out getting high and having brunch. I probably should be doing. Well, maybe that's what I will go do. Anyway, so it was fun at least. It would have been more fun if I got blankets out of it, but it's been a long time since I knocked on doors. Anyway, so I've been posting on TikTok. Those of you who don't know, at Hellfire Agency on YouTube is also at Hellfire Agency. On TikTok, I just recently posted, as a matter of fact, just a few minutes ago, posted a song that I wrote dedicated to my ex-wife and sent it to her. I had posted it on my Facebook figuring that she would see it a couple weeks ago. And it's just kind of a heartfelt, sentimental piece about, I don't hate you. In fact, I love you still. And but I'm mostly excited about the life you're going to make for yourself and how privileged I was to be married to you, to be close to you when we were together. And then as you grew apart from me, it was still a privilege because I get to see who that girl that I married is growing up to be, who she's meant to be. And, just because we got to the point where we couldn't continue that journey together anymore, doesn't mean that I'm not excited for the person that she's growing into. So, and anyways, I just posted it on my Facebook, figured she'd see it. All my friends saw it, my parents saw it, and she was like the only one who didn't see it. Oh, all right. I mostly wrote it for my own benefit anyway. And so now she just saw it. She's like, wait a minute, what song? So I sent it to her, and she's like, I can't stop sobbing. And so I'm like, and she's like, it's the most beautiful thing. So I posted it on TikTok. So like sometimes these accounts, sometimes they're my personal account. Sometimes they're the church's official account. I get real intimate with my audience, suffice it to say. All right, well, I better go get better get some calories because I haven't eaten today. Haven't eaten yet today. And then go and distribute, I guess, emergency blankets. And then I promised the kids I'd take them to a movie. Flash Bright Cora Horse.